The sun cut clean shadows across a quiet suburban neighborhood, the kind where mailboxes match the trim on the houses and the sidewalks never crack. A charcoal Lexus cruised slowly under tall trees, its paint gleaming under the golden hour light. The man behind the wheel was older, black, dressed in a crisp brown coat, his posture straight, his eyes forward. Justice Harold Delmont gripped the steering wheel with his left hand. In his right, a thick red-stamped file sat firmly against his leg. Judicial review? His breathing was slow, methodical. He was used to order, had lived a life inside courtrooms where precision and power held the walls in place. As he yielded at a stop sign, letting two kids cross on scooters, a sound slithered in behind him. No sirens, no urgency, just the steady hum of a patrol car creeping, then the flicker of red and blue. He didn't flinch. He didn't even look back. He simply lowered the window and adjusted his collar. Behind dark sunglasses, the young officer stepped out, posture tense with authority, like someone taught to size up the world by skin color and steering wheel leather. "Afternoon?" "Sir," the cop said, eyes narrowed. "We've had a report of a suspicious vehicle circling the neighborhood." "Mind telling me if you live around here?" Justice Delmont turned, gaze slow, voice firm. "Did you just say circling?" The officer ignored the tone. "No resident tag. No work sign. That's why I'm checking." The silence between them weighed more than the car. Officer Drew Kessler stood tall, hand resting near his belt, like it was second nature. But there was something about the way the old man looked at him. Like he'd seen 100 men with badges and shaky confidence before breakfast. "This neighborhood isn't for people wearing brown coats." Kessler muttered, maybe trying to provoke, maybe trying to assert control. Delmont didn't react. He opened the door slowly, gracefully, placed both feet on the ground, and stood. He wasn't tall, not anymore. Age curved his back slightly, but he carried space around him like a man who once gave orders in rooms full of men who thought they were in charge. "What exactly do you suspect me of?" he asked. Kessler didn't answer, just stuck out his hand. "License and registration." Delmont handed him the documents. License, registration, insurance, and one card more powerful than all of them combined. A brass-trimmed ID that read, U.S. Supreme Court, Associate Justice. Kessler barely looked at it. Took the license, left the badge, ignored the weight. "Step out of the car and stand by the curb," Kessler ordered. Delmont moved without rush. No fear, no resistance, just silence. The kind of silence that makes young men second-guess their authority. Kessler scanned him, eyes darting over the coat, the pockets, the collar. Then, without permission, he tugged gently at the flap of Delmont's jacket pocket. "I have the right to inspect if I suspect impersonation," Kessler said. Delmont didn't flinch. "You're not looking for fraud. You're looking for a reason to justify your bias." For the first time, Kessler froze. His hand stopped. The badge in his pocket had more weight than he knew what to do with. "I need to make a call," the officer muttered. Delmont nodded, unfazed. "Good, I'm waiting for one from the court clerk myself." The neighborhood stayed quiet. A dog barked 2 streets over. A sprinkler clicked on in someone's front yard. But something had shifted. You could feel it. Kessler returned to the patrol car. He didn't say another word, didn't hand back the license, didn't look the man in the eye. He just sat in the car, engine humming, radio silent. Delmont stood still, hands in pockets, eyes on the sidewalk like it was the floor of a courtroom. The Lexus waited behind him, doors closed, untouched. People inside these homes wouldn't know what happened. But soon they'd hear bits, then whispers, then stories. When did this place stop being for people like him? Someone would ask, and the answer would be simple. When a man who wrote the laws had to defend himself from them, Justice Delmont wasn't stopped for circling. He was stopped for not fitting, for driving the wrong kind of car, wearing the wrong coat, in a place where assumptions pass as policy. That morning wouldn't end in arrest. There would be no citation, no handcuffs, no apology either, but that wasn't the point. The real verdict was delivered in silence, when a man like Delmont, a voice of the Constitution itself, was asked to prove he belonged in his own country. He didn't tell the officer who he was. He let the badge speak for itself. Because sometimes the quietest responses carry the most thunder, and sometimes the real courtroom is the street, the bench is the sidewalk, and justice shows up without saying a word. The charcoal Lexus pulled away slowly. Smooth. Deliberate. Sunlight tracing its outline as it vanished into the curve of the street. In the rearview mirror, the patrol car didn't follow. It stayed parked, small and suddenly unsure.